Hello everyone, this is Grotesque Dino here, and this is the next video on my review series for model trains. And today I have a really cool set here today. It was my birthday, I believe last week, and when I saw this set, I was like, I had to get this set, and I got it on eBay, and this guy, he had a really good listing. It's a 10-car set of the Poste TGV train. It's the world's fastest freight slash postal train, and I thought it was really cool. And since yellow is my favorite color, I was like, wow, this is a pretty cool looking train set. The train has no windows, unlike the other TGVs like the Sud East. And I don't know if I pronounced that right. Pretty sure the Frenchies are going to come after me, maybe. I don't know. Maybe another revolution. Who knows? But there's the Sud East over there. That one's a Jouef, just like this one. But I don't know. I call it Jouef or Jouef. So whatever it is whatever. I have it back there. That one's from the 1980s, and this is a recent model. It's much more new, but this is a rather rare set. I've seen another Sud East one that had a 7-car set, but it had the DCC pre-fitted, but it's not this one. This one is much older, and that one is like something, if you want to bring it to the modern era standards, you're going to have to like really do a lot of work on it. And I might, it depends. I'm trying to sell something on eBay that might get me the more modern version, pretty much modern as this, but with the orange livery, and it's a passenger train instead of, a whole postal train. So this is a 10-car set. That includes 2 locomotives, 1 powered, and the dummy units back there behind the boxes over there of my GG1 and my J1. You might think, why do we have a French train on a Pennsylvania American Railroad? And you know what? We have the Northeast Corridor, right? I mean, why not? You could pretty much bring this train in America if you wanted to. I might have to change a couple things since when it comes to AC power. I'm not sure about DC power, but AC power, we'd have to change the frequency, the hertz to from 50 to 60. I'm not 100% sure, but you might have to change the hertz for a real life train. But in France, this train runs on the same gauge as the American trains. It's 4 foot 8 inch gauge, which is 4 foot 8 inch and a half. But there's like, in real life, there's like a variance like by an inch. Really, I mean, which is pretty good actually. If the variance is by 8 inch to 9 inch, that's a pretty good standard. But yeah, this train's completely capable of running in America. As you can see, it's running on American Bachmann track for American steam engines and American trains and rolling stock and whatnot. You cannot connect this train with any other train unless you modify your other trains. But why would you do that? This is a high speed train. It's meant to just it's like a single semi permanent unit. It's interesting how those cars came together. I'll probably show that later. I'll definitely show that later on. But yeah, this is equipped with ESU Lok Pilot 4.0. I don't know why this is in German or French or whatever languages they have in there. On the back, you see like a European railroad. Some of the streamlined steamers. That nice roundhouse. That's a cool looking turntable with roundhouse there. Although, when I do my roundhouse, it's going to almost be enclosed with a huge 130-foot turntable. I don't know when I'm going to do that. Maybe much later on. But it's Lok Pilot. There's no sound. So if I guess you're European or something, some people wonder, well, can I run this in America when the hertz is like 60 60 hertz in America and 50 hertz in, I guess, Europe. Again, I'm not 100% sure on the things, but I know there's a difference in hertz when it comes to phases with the AC circuit sine waves. But I guess when you see this logo with DCC, it's pretty much standard across the world, I guess. I mean, if you got a Kato train from, I guess, Japan, but I don't know if Japan's different than America in terms of phasing or whatnot. To be honest, I don't know. But I guess when you see this logo on any train, I mean, it works. You know what? I'm just gonna say this: do your research. I just put it on the track and used my Digitrax controller, and it caused no problems running the train at all. I mean, well, we'll talk about the dummy unit later on and what was going on with that one, because that one had this DC plug chip. Now, I didn't have both of these on the track, although I did try to see what was going on, but it seemed like it wasn't harming, because I had both locos before I had the cars on here, and I was like, okay, what's going on? I want them to work on DCC. And it was tricky at first, but then, since I got this on eBay, I was like, why is it not using 3 or whatnot? And then I realized there was a note that said, this train has a decoder value of address 8. I'm like, oh, okay. That's interesting. I also had to clean up and cut my old copper connections. Just basically short my wires just to make cleaner connections again. It's been a year, so get fresh copper showing so I have better connection, not dirty. Programming was interesting. I don't think you can do 4 number addresses. I could be wrong. I tried it, but it took so long to finish the programming. So I'm like, let me just hard reset it by changing the CV value 8 to 8 or something. And I went back to factory standards, and I just changed it to a 2 numerical value of 95. Even though the train's number is 951, I'm just going to put a 95 because it's convenient. Anywho, this if you got this train right out of the box as DC, I mean, they're all this set. Both units are both DCC ready. So I'm not gonna open this up because it is a pain in the butt to open up. I tried to open up the back one last night, and it was tough, and it is hard because the way how you have to untab it is that you kind of want to separate both sides first. Where where the bottom is here, there's this is where the chassis is from below, and above is the top shell, and you have to really spread it apart so just enough so that you can push it up a bit, so then you can get the back, and you got to take a flathead screwdriver, something thin like these metal set here, and you got to wedge it in there, and then you got to push it up. I think it's easier if you pull down the truck, but some people on YouTube who have installed DCC or sound would say otherwise. But if you want, just twist the truck and then wiggle it out without breaking it, and then it would be easier to just pull the truck down, pull the frame down. Just be careful though when you do it. This is one of the more tedious shell removals, because there's a shovel nose under there that you have to pull back. You have to pull the frame back to get it out of the nose, because it goes into the nose a bit too. It's weird. It's a weird thing to open up, but I did, and I had to take out this DC controller chip that was in the back unit. Otherwise, it would just make a buzzing sound, and I don't want to destroy the DCC ready board back over there, which is a big board, by the way. It's just a big long board in there with however, it has a chip that if you put DCC and sound on there, I'll show you later, but there's already directional lighting LED on this locomotive. So if you ran this train just strictly DC out of the box, If you change direction and pull the power on, you'll see that the reverse lights on one end of the train that's going in reverse, the marker lights turn red, which is pretty cool. And then when it goes forward, it lights up forward, obviously, with the headlights. But the same thing happens on the other side where the lights turn red and that one goes in reverse. It's really cool, especially if you have it running in DC. That's a pretty cool feature coming from a model like this. But once you have it in DCC, it does the same thing, kind of like the real train, but it automatically flips it to red for you, which is cool when you go in reverse. It's basically the same thing in DC, but it's DCC. The lights are fully on now. That one I still have to get a chip to put in there. I'll have to get a DCC sound decoder for it and install sound in the dummy unit. I did watch a video. If you look up the Poste HO train DCC sound fit, you'll see a guy. I don't know where he's from, but I should have got a link or saved the link so I can put it in my description. But if you look at his video, you'll just follow what I say, and you'll definitely find the guy. He does like a DCC install and sound, and like he said, it was difficult to like open it up, but to put sound in this engine, especially with the motor in there as well, which is, by the way, a 5-pole motor. I asked the guy, like, hey, did you know what kind of motor that this thing is? He's like, oh, this is a 5-pole skew wound. I'm like, oh, wow, that's amazing. That's pretty cool. I was like, that's good. Because that old one has like a really crude, I mean, I don't have a lot against 3-pole, but, you know, it's 2021, you know, I mean, you should have 5-pole, especially skew wound now. I mean, it can't be that much to manufacture, but I can understand if it's really that expensive. That should be industry standard for all HO trains now. But enough about that. It has a 5-pole skew wound motor. It runs really silent. The only sound you'll hear pretty much most of the time when you're running this train is really just the clickety-clack of the wheels and the rolling of the metal on metal with the wheels and the rails. It's pretty cool. This is a really cool running set. It runs nicely. The rear, I call it the dummy loco, but I guess the dummy loco, or rear engine, wherever it is. The dummy loco, the wheels, I had to roll them a bit to just wear them in because they're kind of a little bit stiff, but doesn't really hinder the performance of the locomotive, which is great because, you know, these cars are pretty light and they roll really good. So, I mean, compared to Bowser's box cars, I would say they roll pretty well. They don't hinder it. And it's only 9 cars behind it, plus, you know, a little bit of stiff wheel dummy loco, so it doesn't really cause that much strain on the train, especially when you go at low speeds and you're just crawling, which it can crawl a bit. It doesn't crawl super slow, but it goes slow enough in my opinion, because this train is designed to go fast. Like this train is designed to go really fast. Now I haven't seen how fast this train can go, and when it's going, you know, notch 2, I call them notches. I don't know why, but I just call it notch 2. This thing's hauling. This train will haul, and it's going at a pretty good speed. I don't know how fast. Probably faster than my T1's going at, you know, notch 3, but I can only imagine how fast it'll go at full, and I don't want to do that because I don't know if it's going to fly off the track, which we'll not do. But we'll see. I'll probably go to notch 3 and see how fast it will go. The detail for a plastic model is pretty good, actually. It's not, I guess, a lot of Europeans who know Markland and all the other, you know, big German brands and other big brands that make metal engines and really highly detailed trains, they'll probably say, well, this is good by Jouef, but maybe not the highest of details, because some of the small lettering and writing on there might not be easy to read, legible, even if you have a magnifying glass. But don't have a magnifying glass, but there's NS and SNCF. I don't know why I call it SN, whatever. There's the number 951. There's the La Poste. I don't know why I call it La Poste, but I don't know. I call it La Poste or something like that. I don't know. That's more Italian than French. La Poste or La Poste. It doesn't matter. Some people are gonna be mad I butchered it. I just call it the yellow train now. The yellow freight train that goes really fast. The logos on this are pretty good. I like the logo tampos. I really like this color. It's more yellow than the bright yellow, but it's more warm. But I guess on camera it makes it look like it's like a brighter color, almost like with like a little bit of green in it. But no, it's a yellow. So it's a 10-car train. You get like this is the boxes that they came in. There's 6 single coach or single car boxes, and then there's the 4-car box. There is a couple of these on eBay. I got this for a good price, although some people were like, well, that's a lot of money. I'm like, yeah, it is a lot of money, but it's not one of the easiest sets to find out there, especially in good condition and brand new. Although I'm pretty sure most people try to keep it in good condition, and I'm going to try and do that too. But yeah, the detail on each car is pretty good. The 4-car set is just the first car and the second car over there, and those 2 locomotives, and the dummy unit and the powered unit. And then these cars are harder to find. The intermediate cars. 6, especially finding 6, they can be pretty expensive, but I'm glad I got this as a set because I'm pretty sure this set would, if somebody really wanted to make money off this, it would be like $800 to $900. Probably as DC. But if you see this for a set out there for DCC equipped, even if the rear one, because all you have to do for that one, even though it's a pain in the ass to open, all you have to do is just take that pin out and you just have a DCC locomotive. And if you can get that for like $700 or less, I think that's a good deal. Which I got for $700. And you might think, wow, $700 for a plastic train set? Are you kidding me? Well, to get this in America, it's not easy. It's not easy at all, and it's not really... yeah, it's not easy. It's not easy, and these are not really something you would find in America too. So, I mean, if I were to go to my train club, they'd be like, "What the hell is this? This is like some European shit here." I'm like, "Yeah, it is European, but it's actually the good kind of shit. It's cool. It's fast. It's bright colors. It's colorful, even though it's really just yellow and dark gray. Maybe some blue and some red with the French Railways logo right there, SNCF. And I mean, for a plastic model with good details like this, I think it's all right. There's no cab interior. There's no figures, anything, which I think is fine. Some people are like, well, that's ridiculous. Well, there's like a drive in there, right? And there's a 5-pole motor in the middle. And this is a weighted locomotive. It does have a die-cast, I wouldn't say the frame. It could. But there's like a die-cast weight in there, kind of like what you see in die-cast diesels and whatnot. It's got that die-cast wall around it, around the motor and whatnot, to give it extra weight, which is pretty good and gives it a lot of good pulling power. It's not super heavy. I don't know how exact. It probably weighs maybe close to 1.5 pounds, maybe just close to 1 pound, the locomotive, even though it's mainly plastic. But yeah, again, about the drive gear, it's pretty similar to regular diesels in America, where they have like that tower with the worm gear at the top and then some reduction gears or something like that go towards the bottom. And I don't think a cab would, an interior would fit in there with that thing swiveling in there. I'm not sure if you could see in there, but barely. That's probably why they have those windows tinted. Got some lights. There's an LED thing in there. I don't know if you could see the LED lights in there. There's two on each side that will light up. The two center ones that are closest towards the center, one on each side. Those light up red, and then the outer ones light up yellow when going forward. The pantographs are pretty cool. I haven't tried to make this one go up, which I'm not going to do, but this one does go up, although it has to be a little bit forceful to open it. You don't have to if you're afraid of breaking it, but it's not that bad. I would argue that Broadway Limited did it better to put the pantographs up in terms of ease, but it's got workable pantographs that move up and down on both engines. And yeah, the detail I think is great. It runs great. I'm glad it has a 5-pole motor, and that it picks up pretty well. The wheelbase on this is pretty good for pickup. I mean, the wheels, they're pretty far apart on the truck, especially on both ends. There is one traction tire on one each truck. I think one on this side and one on the other side of the truck, which I guess adds for more traction. But it doesn't interfere with the connection, I guess. There is no wires that go into the other cars for more. You could upgrade that if you wanted to, although you would have to maybe drill a hole or something into the chassis, to the shell on each side to do that. And that's if you want to damage it. I might not do that. I don't think I want to damage this model, although I'm never going to sell this. This is mine. I'm not selling it. This is pretty much one of my dream sets, and probably is the dream set. When I first saw it, I was like, wow, this is a really cool train. I didn't notice it came in yellow. I've always seen that famous orange one. I didn't know they had like a freight train version of this. So normally, you would get this as a DC set. You can get this with DCC equipped. I'm not sure about the DCC sound. I'm pretty sure you'll not find those unless somebody's going to sell it for a really high price. Again, on eBay, I saw one that just for the 4-car set, 2 locos and the 2 first and second cars like that I'm showing right now. I don't know the proper name, unfortunately. That one was going for like $630 when I first saw this compared to this set, and I was like, are you kidding me? I'm going to buy the $700 set because it comes with DCC and it comes with all the cars to make the full train set like in real life. So, and some other guy was trying to sell it for $632. It's like, what the hell, dude? For a 4-car set? I mean, I don't think it had DCC or sound either. So I was really surprised, unless maybe I didn't read his description, but still, even then, man, that's way too much money for just a 4-car set, no matter how rare it is. But I think it went lower now. The price is lower, but still, I mean, it's still too much. That is still too much for, this set. For like a set of 4, not without like those 6 intermediate cars, which they go around between, depending on the model and how rare, I guess it's like in what era or how old it is, it's between $40 to $60 or $70. Most of them are like at an average of $55 of those intermediate cars, which they're not the longest in the world. They're definitely shorter than, the passenger cars made by the Americans and whatnot, but they're probably around the same size as a baggage car, even the passenger, because these are basically the same cars that you have on a passenger train version of this train. And they're probably around the same length as a maybe 50 or 60 foot baggage car. Although, I do admit, I do have those Bachmann, they're in the bag over there. Those Bachmann Fleet of Modernism cars, and those were like $50 a piece. And I have to say, these cars look better and they run better than Bachmann's 50, 70, or 85-foot Fleet of Modernism cars that they came out just last year, and that says a lot, I guess, for something made in France. Which, by the way, Jouef, I believe, got bought by a Hornby. And it's a shame that they don't make a lot of TGV trains. I don't know where Jouef is now. This is not that old, this set, but I would say it's old enough that who knows where Jouef is bought by now. And I don't know a lot about this company, and unfortunately, I don't have like the necessary information about Jouef to really talk about it, because a lot of the YouTubers out there are French. I don't know if they have any English subtitles, but I would like to know the history of Jouef and all their models that they produce, especially the TGV in particular, so that it will be easier for people to know which one they should get. I mean, I'm not saying that the 1980s ones is, a crap model. I mean, it's a great platform because it's really just empty in there. There's one truck in there that has a motor right on top of it with a weird gear complex that you probably see in like really old HO trains. But you could probably, gut the thing out and probably replicate this right here if you wanted to. But that's going to be like a lot of work, and it could be really expensive. Unless somebody wants to play around with it and just gut the engine out and just make it like, just a scenery train. I do have some more cars of the orange one coming of the same era, but I'll probably use that as like a template to try new things with. Maybe, I don't know, I'm not sure. Because I saw another orange one out there that's pretty much maybe the same age as this one, or a little bit pretty much newer, maybe 2 years old, that's got like a nice set for a good price too with DCC ready. And I'm looking at that and I'm like, oh, wow, wow. Because, for me to do something that's like very, I wouldn't say innovative. Well, I guess you could say innovative. It would be difficult, but, it's not about that train. It's about this train, which I'm doing too much in these videos, going to other trains and comparing them. So we'll do some running right now. Let me power it up, and then we'll turn on the lights. I don't know if you saw the lights come on, but there they are. And then it's in reverse right now mode. So we go in reverse, and then there's forward. They turn yellow, and then they turn red. And the lighting's not doing that well. So I'll let it go in reverse a little bit. And then that's it going slow speed. I think that's good for a model like this. You might think, well, models can go slower than that. And I'm like, well, it's pushing, the wheels in the back locomotive are not that bad. They still run fairly well. I would say I would compare them to the Bachmann coaches, but it's pushing that. And it's barely over stop. And if I go any slower, there you go, it stops. But that's fine. I mean, that's slow enough, I think, for me. It's really cool. Although, again, this is a high-speed train. So those are reverse lights, and when I go to forward, there's the forward lights. Now, right now, I can't get those lights to work on a locomotive because, again, I took out the DC chip, so really it just has the lights off on the reverse locomotive or the dummy locomotive, and I'll eventually have to get a DCC and sound chip to program to be the same number as this one that I have right now with the Lok Pilot 4, and I'll probably give it a 2-digit address 95 as well, so that it will work in conjunction with this engine. So that when this train goes in reverse, the headlights on that one go up, and then vice versa. So let's go forward. Let's do a sprint. You do hear a little bit engine noise, but that's fine. Electric engines in real life make some noise too. We're at notch 1 right now. This is probably moving at between maybe 30 miles per hour, 20 to 30 miles per hour, 40, I don't know. Let's go to notch 2. We'll see in the back over there. Makes a lot of rail noise. We're at notch 2. Here it comes. Really smooth runner. And after this run, we're going to look at the bottom of the locomotive, because it's got something interesting going on over there. We're going to slowly go to notch 3. I mean, it's already hauling. This thing's already going at a pretty good speed. Now we're at notch 3. I don't know if that's definitely over 60. That's definitely going somewhere over 60 miles per hour. And then it's just half the speed. You know, I might do a special thing and see how, if we go to notch 4, how fast that goes. I'm just only going to do it for a little bit. I mean, given by the seller saying this is barely run, I have to let this train break in too. So we're slowly going to 4, and it's still holding on to the tracks. We're halfway to 4. Holy cow, this thing's flying. We're getting close to 4. Alright, now we're at 4. Wow, look at her go. I have to say that is really nice. That's probably, probably over 100 miles per hour in HO. I don't know. I have to get one of those, Digitrax speed readers or something. But I'm pretty sure this thing is going definitely somewhere around 100 miles per hour in HO. If not, that's okay. I don't mind. I mean, in real life, this train hit a max speed of 168 miles per hour. Alright, we're going to go back to 2. And going back on the topic of 5-pole